Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 3-Digit World Cup Round of 16 weekend. Our first weekend of the bracket stage, day 2, match 2 of this lovely Sunday. We got China and France, probably one of the closer matches this weekend. So I'm definitely looking forward to this matchup. I'm SadShiba. Joining me today is the wonderful nautzz. What's up, dude?
Hello. Excited for the match. I do think, in spite of the proximity and seeding, I do favor China. Just given a favorite coming into the tournament to win the whole thing, and in a rather menacing roster. I think they've got names, and France may be a bit of a downgrade from last year. So I don't know. I think France is really going to need certain players to perform, to just be in tip-top shape to an extent that maybe, China maybe has a bit more give, maybe has a bit more leeway.
Yeah, I can agree on that. Really trying to do have a favorite of a team here. Definitely a team that widely is kind of regarded as potential champions on here. But this is 3WC, and this year especially has got some of the most incredibly stacked rosters that I think we've seen in a really long time. China is one of those extremely stacked rosters, but there are, I'd probably need to say, about 3-4 more rosters that all have the potential to be champions. So this is very exciting, kind of beyond going to the future, to see what goes down. And if anything, it really does start with round of 16, because upsets are always possible in the early stages. And I think this is one of those matches where it could be possible, despite China looking so good on paper. France, despite having a little bit of a downgrade compared to their previous years, still do have some solid players. Of course, bringing back Musty and Ekaro, and having Flaste as well. Kind of a good 3-person core there for France. You kind of know what their skill sets are from that roster alone, from that trio alone. They do have Hif Kill, Araki, and B-Prod kind of to back up themselves for the tapping and more of the mechanics-heavy stuff, but they have a generally really strong trio for hidden and for a little bit of gimmicky stuff. Whereas China, they have a roster full of really talented all-rounders and a couple of really strong speed players as well to kind of back up that minor weakness in the double time section in Jack Wang and Joseph Joestar. So both these teams have their skill sets, they have their strengths, and they have their notable weaknesses. But yeah, on paper, China do have the advantage. But we're going into the roles now, and we do see the first ban for China being Hidden 3. I think this is pretty understandable, to be honest.
As you were saying, it's a notable skill set for France and something they want to pick into. I think most likely going to see China banning more gimmicky low AR stuff. Try to just shut out France.
France banning out the Hard Rock 2 and the Hidden 1. A little bit surprised on the Hidden 1. I would maybe expect to ban one of the no mods instead. But maybe it's more of a comfort thing. Maybe they don't feel very good on Hidden 1 at all. But I personally, if I was France, I would have probably gone for one of the no mods. But regardless, that ban, they know their team better than anyone. So I'm sure they've got a strategy coming into this. Hard Rock 2 is no surprise at all. They do not have a very notable Hard Rock squad, especially on the results on Hard Rock 2 and the qualifiers. Kind of
HR2 is just strong. HR2 is just a mess. It's just I don't know. I imagine people just don't want to play that, and especially against a team like China, it's the kind of map where a couple of patterns will screw you and just break your combo. And I feel like China's roster have the players who just kind of combo that stuff, and I don't know. They have the it factor on it, so I don't.
Yeah,
I think it's good to get rid of. I mean, also it's probably good to get rid of because it's a mess. I don't know. I saw that as the last pick in Germany versus Canada last night decide the match in pretty I don't know, pretty stunning fashion.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to not see the Hidden 2 ban here from China. They do decide to go for the normal 2, which in fairness is also a solid ban. France do have a good normal 2 roster, so I can understand the ban there. But personally, I would have considered Hidden 2 a bit more of a threat. But what do you think, nautzz? What do you think about that?
I think Hidden 2 doesn't throw enough at China in terms of gimmickiness and everything. If anything, there could be an argument could be made for No Mod 5, but I think the Chinese roster is confident enough on that. Like reading overlappy kind of situation on the 1.5. So I think the No Mod 2 is just a matter of not risking it, even though they could presumably put up pretty solid team score on it. It's just no need to leave it open.
Actually, no, never mind, you're right. I got the Hidden 2 and Hidden 3 mixed up. Hidden 3 is the reading, isn't it? I completely forgot about that. Yeah. Okay, now that's understandable then.
yeah.
I thought I had them swapped around, but no. Yeah, no, you're totally right, nautzz. Yeah, no, that is actually a pretty fair ban now I think about it. Normal 2, Hidden 2 being a little bit more on the streamy tech side and does have an AR of 9.3, so it does. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't really throw enough impact with that hidden slapped onto it for it to really be a notable threat for China.
I mean, it's like a skill set that China would be really good on. Even they'd super nice, like do very well on it.
I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. But the ban phase is complete. We've got the bans through for China, No Mod 2 and Hidden 3, and for France, Hard Rock 2 and Hidden 1. Now it's time to take a look at the picks here.
I'm not sure who's picking first, actually. I don't know what the situation regarding that is. But I'm not sure what one we want to go for first here, actually. Well, there we go. Free Mod 3 from France. Actually, the AR8 CS5 from off the Hidden 3 ban. I suppose they want to play the AR8 Hidden.
Immediately going for that free mod 3. Immediately going for the anti-mod. Solid idea here for France. Just picking off, starting the match off with something that they're very comfortable with. These guys having a really strong gimmicky reading team. My guess is that they're going to bring in Ekoro, Musty, and Araki for the Hard Rock. Yeah, that's my guess.
And Ekoro will presumably put the Hidden on, and or actually maybe Ekoro goes no mod, and Musty goes Hidden.
Yeah, my thoughts on this is that this is AR8, and with Ekoro being Ekoro, he's got plenty of options. He could be bold and go for the easy mod, but it doesn't seem to me that we're going to see.
That might be a double Hard Rock.
Doesn't seem that we're going to be seeing Ekoro on this map. We're actually going to be seeing Flasty instead. So yeah, we could be seeing a double Hard Rock setup here from France.
I think that has to be it, actually, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see China go for the same. I'll just also go for a double Hard Rock, but given that David is in, might be seeing Hidden.
Potentially, but here we go. We're going into the first map of this match. And
it's David on the No Mod and Kurumi Crystal on the HR.
Yeah, we do indeed see our mods now. Lol234, also known as Kurumi, on the Hard Rock. And for Lol235, also known as David, or Genshinphobia, as I used to call him, on the no mod. And we have Crystal on his signature Hard Rock, always known to be a great all-rounder, but a Hard Rock player is what he is at heart. Really, really good on the Hard Rock, really solid, really comfortable. And we see Flaste on the Hidden, Araki on the Hard Rock, and Musty on the no mod. These are not too surprising on the mod sets here. Again, a little surprised to not see the Acro, maybe whip out the Easy on the Hidden, but it's not too big of a deal. France definitely know what they're doing here. Flaste, notoriously good on this Hidden, and having a good diversity with the Hard Rock and the Hidden, definitely going to help them out here. But so far, so good. We're not seeing any major breaks, aside from one from Kurumi. But this map is also quite short. Not too long, but still quite short. God. A double miss there for France. Musty and Araki both drop. It's Crystal and David now trying to fight off Flaste. And soon the score lead's going to flip into China's favor. But it looks like Kurumi's recovered decently well here. So far, so good for China.
A bad situation for France. It's not quite the midway point, but we have capped their scores quite a bit here. It's not looking great.
Flaste is doing phenomenally well, though. 99.27 on the Hidden. Really, really solid here. Fighting off the combo from David, but Crystal remains uncontested on that Hard Rock. Musty and Araki have recovered decently well, but China just refused to crack. Kurumi also recovering really well on the Hard Rock. Does not seem to be much room for France to breathe. China just refused to drop. David may drop, but Araki trades it. So the advantage remains for China.
It's not a very big advantage now, though. They have built up a lead, though. It's the problem. So France, nonetheless, still need more.
Another miss from Araki, giving David that lead in the final supporting combo. And Flaste, despite dropping a little bit of accuracy, continues to hold on to some really solid full combos here. And Musty's recovered decently well, going up to about 600, but nobody can really kind of decipher a massive opportunity here to take away the lead for France. And China just slowly running away with it. And as the map closes, China will get the first point of the board and a break point at that. And they've got a huge opportunity now to make that 2-point lead after the next pick, after winning this map. Oh, Kurumi broke on the very last circle.
Beautiful.
That was it. Unfortunate situation for France. They had a pretty decent combo, but that double miss on the early stages really messed with their final scores. And Crystal with a phenomenal FC. Flaste tried his best, but could not compete with the full force of China.
A very strong team performance for China. 2.5 mil. Almost an FC from Kurumi.
Good to point out David's accuracy there. Really, really nice accuracy despite not landing the FC. Can give lots of props to that. But now it's China's pick. China's opportunity to push their lead to 2-0 with a pick of their own. And it's safe to say they've got a lot of choices here. Not because the pool hasn't been used, but as they're a very well-rounded team. They've got a lot of really solid options to go for. You know, there are many maps that you could consider a surefire win for China, but they're gonna go for the double time 4.
Going DT early and getting maybe Joseph Joestar Jack Wang in is something I kind of like. Get these picks out of the way early. It's I think it's about, you don't want to find out that one of those players is off their game late into the match. If you know, you want to have that kind of out of the way early. Not that I think they will be. I think they'll be perfectly fine, but nonetheless, probably best to get that out of the way early and not have to worry about it later. But given the nature of the map, I don't know if both of them will be in, or only one of them, or none of them even, because the Lololols and Crystal can likely cover on something like this. In fact, might even be expected.
Yeah, this double time 4 is less about the extreme density and kind of speed aspect that you'd normally see with double time. This is more of an awkward 10.3 slider aim map with lots of alt aspects to boot.
Yeah.
And when you think alt, you really think of the Lolols.
I mean, Milk Tea, Kurumi, Crystal is such a good roster, yeah.
Such a good trio for a skill set like this. This is a little bit kind of out of the regular comforts that you would see regularly with double time. Normally double time is very, very rapid, very mechanics and tapping heavy. But this one really does make use of not only your high AR reading, but you're controlling your tapping and your slider aim. And although really instinctually, when you think double time, you'd put in Joseph Josa or Jack Wang, this map really is for the Lolols.
Yeah,
France,
it is.
France have picked out Bprod, Hifkill, and Araki for this.
Yeah, still yet to see a Koro in for anything, but it is high AR, not really a Koro's forte, so...
Yeah, I can agree on that. Maybe France are probably going to go for an unconventional pick in the later, for a conventional pick for them to whip out the Akuro diff.
Yeah.
But for now, France are bringing out their resident kind of speedy players. France kind of having a strategy of they've got 3 high mechanic, speed, and tapping players, and on the other side they've got their signature hidden trio. So far, don't see any breaks, but we are in the very early stages of this map. This map's about 2 minutes and 48 seconds long. A little bit more on the longer side for our average double time map, but we're going into the first KI, and so far, so good. Accuracy is giving China a bit of a favor, but a break from Hifkill is going to swing that advantage a little bit further in China's favor. But Crystal trades it.
Keeping things pretty close here.
Oh, Bprod.
Oh dear.
Slipping towards the final stages of that Ki, removing that advantage that the Charles.
Okay.
Oh, but hold on, Milk Tea does trade it. We're seeing a lot of back and forth breaks here. It is between.
What on earth was that break, by the way? I did not catch that. That was really bad.
Might have been a really bad slip up there from Milk Tea, but because of that, it is David again. No, not David, sorry. It is Kurumi against Araki here. But Hifkill has got the advantage in the supporting combo. Bprod's recovered decently well. Small combo advantage for France, but it's very, very minor. Break from anywhere can massively impact it. Even if Bprod breaks the lowest combo for France, it's going to massively impact the chances for France, but the gap is very, very minutely shifting in favor of France. But this next Ki can very easily change that.
Oh.
It's Kurumi who breaks just before the end, just before the start of the Ki.
Araki with a huge opportunity to carry France to a point here. Has to hold though.
Bprod does drop, and Araki drops a little bit of accuracy, getting a little bit
Oh my
frightened.
God.
It gets to him, it hits him too hard, and France are wiped out. It is Crystal and Milk Tea holding on to that next Ki and getting some free combo in the slow section. Massive good opportunity for for China here. Unfortunate blunder for France, just a complete collapse on that last Ki at the end of the Ki. And now we're going to the final Ki here for this DT4. And as long as China continues to hold, I really don't think France have a chance in this.
Yeah, no, this is already a pretty big lead. 2 very, very big recoveries from Crystal and Milk Tea. Comboing pretty much all of the map, actually. I mean, these are some really nice scores.
Oh, Hifkill breaking on that star slider. I'm misreading it just a little bit. But it is
No
going
one's
to be
going
China
to
that
FC
takes
this
that
map
pick.
because of that. I mean, I saw it yesterday. Rundy broke on that. FC'd up until it. Brutal.
It's unfortunate to see 3 S ranks here for France, but in fairness, this is the kind of map where you'd be more likely to slider break than to miss. So the S ranks here aren't as impressive as maybe perceived, but that score from Araki had so much potential.
Araki did have the opportunity to really make the difference there. I don't know, pressure perhaps got to him.
A collapse like that is sure to completely shatter your hopes of winning that map, especially considering China had 2 fabulous recoveries in the back. This wasn't going to be enough.
Yeah.
I think if Araki was to hold, and maybe a good recovery from one of the players from France, maybe France would have had a better chance, but just the consistency from China just didn't stop, and it was a bit overwhelming for France, and now it's France's opportunity to bounce back with another pick. But if China take this, then they will be in a brilliant spot to just soar through the rest of the competition. So this is a very important pick here for France.
I think the question for me is really what is unconventional enough to go for other than no mod 5. I think no mod 5 is really the only option, especially you want to get in your big carry player of Ikoro. It's just the only option, really. I don't feel like anything else in the pool lives up to kind of, you know, the archetype you're looking for in a pick for France here.
Totally agree. Definitely agree. I think number 5 is definitely the best option here to go for. They can whip out the Ekoro power. And this is France's chance to bounce back.
But they will need the supporting scores as well, because China will perform pretty well on stuff like this as well. So it's not they can't rely entirely on Ikora, I would think. But
no, definitely not.
We shall see.
I mean, literally the definition of this Chinese roster is that they do have a lot of strengths, but generally they're so well-rounded.
Yeah.
They really do have a squad for every option. And for this map here, for this number 5, it is going to be Crystal, David, and Kurumi. And for France, of course, we have Ekoro, but by his side, we have Musty and Hifkill.
Really, all the biggest names on the French roster assembled. It does inspire confidence.
All right. This number 5, really, really important here for France. They've got the trio needed here, but China are not going to give it so easily. This map is pretty kind of explanatory when you know you have a Ikoro on the roster. AR8 reading with a lot of stacks, overlaps, and some very awkward tapping to boot. And this is also quite long.
Hifkill was not ready for this. I'm seeing a D rank. This is... He was really not ready for this one. I hope he's practiced, though. I trust that he'll get into the flow of things. This is not what you wanted to see from France starting off in the map here, but...
This is a very, very early collapse here from Hifkill, but Musty and Ekoro
still actually in the lead.
Actually continue to push France into the lead, yeah. China kind of collectively showing a little bit more on the accuracy department, but Musty and Ekoro are keeping France in the lead just a little bit. They do lose it, but it's very, very even. And the early break from Hifkill, should it be too impactful going into this next Kiai, we could see a break. But so far, China holding strong. Losing a little bit of accuracy there. Kurumi dropping a few 100s. No slips. Big act drop from Hifkill. But nothing major changes here. And with this, the small combo advantage that China has is going to push their lead just a little bit more in their favor. You can already see these scary rhythmic patterns here that can really trip up people if you're not ready for it. But it's Musty in particular who's feeling really good, but Hifkill's going to drop. That is not a good situation for France. 3 collective FCs for China against 2 for France. Yes, they may be high accuracy, and they may be very good, very, very good in general, very good scores, but that third player syndrome is hitting hard for France. China refusing to back down their 3-way FC.
France needs 2 breaks from China at this point. Especially as they continue to build here. This Hifkill score is just not enough.
If there's a time for China to make a break, it is right now. There has to be a break from China. 1 will be enough if it's as soon as possible. But now as we're going into the final third here, China are just not losing it. Kurumi dropping more 100s, but it's nothing detrimental.
Hifkill
France are not getting what they need. Hifkill with another drop. Musty goes down. It is just Ekoro now for France, but China are too dominant. I think this last quarter is just going to be all for China. You got to really hope for a miracle here if you're a fan of France right now.
Yeah. You need all 3 Chinese players to be struck by lightning right about now. It's just, it's like not gonna happen. Ikoro cannot do enough to salvage this, unfortunately. China is doing China things.
China so incredibly consistent, so grounded, and so stern on their consistency. In this final big section before the end of the Ki, China beautifully just completely team diffs France here. Ekaro's tried his best, and Musty had a very promising combo at the start, but that break really sealed it. China are 3-0 up.
What a team performance from
Wow.
China.
Yeah, this is insane. All 900k. And Ekaro may have top scored the entire lobby, but what do you do against this team score? Really, what do you do? It's clear that France had a notable outlier here, and Hifkill tried his best, but it's clear that he wasn't comfortable, he wasn't ready for this, and you can't really blame him. This isn't really in his particular skill set. Probably just the most confident of the rest of France. And France really hoped for that Musty Ekaro diff, but China just said, nah, we're all gonna diff Ekaro. And that's how it worked. That's what happened. And unfortunately now, China have a good chance to get 4 points on the board at their next pick. Got a lot of options as well. They've got Nomad 3 still open. They've got Hard Rock, both Hard Rock 1 and Hard Rock 3 still open. They could be cheeky and go for a free mod and abuse Hard Rock on France.
I don't think we're gonna see the free mods. Free mod 1 is one of the easiest maps in the pool, and yeah, no mod 4 it ends up being. Free mod 2 is something I've yet to see this weekend. Actually, might have been played, but okay. Well, the no mod 4, the tech pick, relatively conventional tech. It doesn't, you know, like tech inherently is, it straddles a lot of skill sets, but it doesn't go very extremely in any one direction. It's got cuts. It's got some light slider tech elements. I don't believe it goes too extremely in any one direction with the nature of those sliders. It's, you know, it's a bit of everything. It's arguably an aim map, but it's early stage, so I think any such excuses are not valid.
Yeah, let's ignoring this banger of a tune. Yeah, this number 4 does have a lot of very standard tech aspects. As you mentioned, has a few bits of aim that could really hit you if you're not ready for it. But generally, this does have the standard kind of slider patterns and awkward cut streams that could hit you, break your combo if you're not ready for it. But China, so good on tech. They've got such
China
a
are very good at
lineup for this.
Yeah,
this is probably one of their best kind of maps in this entire tournament. They've got Milk Tea, Kurumi, and David. And France are bringing out Ekaro, Flaste, and Musty.
Playing this as well. In fact, I'm almost surprised not to see him playing it. It's I mean, I do kind of expect to see Crystal in for almost everything, so.
Yeah, Crystal is kind of the staple player for China, just in any roster, just generally.
Yeah. Koro, Musty, Flasty for France here. Really need to get a point on the board. A bit of an ask, given that it would have to be a break point here, but especially against this China roster. Not the kind of map that France is weak on, however, so they definitely have a shot.
Yeah, tech isn't really a particular weak spot for France. It is more just an unbelievable strength for China.
Yeah, absolutely.
France really have to hope to try and outshine China's dominance on this. But so far, it's very even. A little bit more an accuracy advantage here for China. But building up to the bridge before the big Ki, no one breaks on that awkward cut stream there. going into the massive slider aim sections. The first break is from Kobe and David. 2 massive breaks for China here. France still holding on to 3 FCs. It's just Milk Tea left for China.
This is huge for France.
This
is
is huge.
Short map as well. So the lead is already building pretty well.
Oh,
another break.
Oh, what an unfortunate collapse for China.
Kurumi seems a bit frustrated. The tilt smoke.
When you are one of the resident tech players for China, I would be frustrated if I was him.
No,
Can't help but be a little bit upset at that situation. But for France, this is ginormous. Their spirit's definitely been revitalized here because they've seen the break, they've seen the 2 breaks from China. And they've got a big chance in the next KI to build up. As you said, this map is really short, only about 2 minutes long. And so the scores for China have already been relatively capped. It's just Milk Tea trying to hold the fort. But all 3 of France's players holding brilliantly and building up to the next KI. A break here really wouldn't be too detrimental. And David breaks once again. China cannot get anything spectacular here. It's just Milk Tea. And France continue to hold it. They're not breaking this. They're not losing. This is definitely a kind of out of nowhere dominance here for France. Look at them go.
This is set to be a way better team score than they needed. And I don't know. This is damn really the 3-way from France. Even if China had performed up to expectation, they might have won this.
Well done, France. What a great team score. 2.8 million.
Really, really well played.
Very, very close off of that 3 mil. It was just Milk Tea for China who getting that FC. And even then, man, getting outshined by Ekaro and Musty, not having any kind of massive diff in combo. It's unfortunately Kurumi and David just could not hold on. Those 2 misses being completely detrimental to their team score. I don't know how France are a little bit surprised at the result, but you got to be happy for them. This is their chance to bounce back.
Yeah, going down 4-0 is not what you want. I think 3-1 is far from ideal, but
basically a death sentence when you're 4-0 down. Yeah.
And a chance to consolidate here with a pick. Problem is, where do you go? I'm not entirely sure. There's not really... I mean, you're not really going to be able to carry momentum off this tech pick into something else, I think. Yeah, I mean, they just go for something entirely different. The DT2, stamina pick of the pool. Although, not all too draining, given its relatively early stage.
Yeah, these early stage double time 2s definitely have a much more of a lenient BPM. 222 BPM, not being too punishing. But it is constant streams, meant to be a stamina test, but for these players, it's not really too difficult. France trying to just get an easy pickings here, whipping out their speed players. Seeing if they can get themselves a second point of the board.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of map. Joseph Joestar, Jack Wang, both of them in the lobby here. A very different China roster, but not to fret. They know what they're doing. They're pretty good at this.
Yeah, Kurumi filling out that gap as well. Also kind of
Milk Tea.
No, Kurumi, sorry, not Kurumi.
Yeah,
Milk
yeah.
Tea. I meant Milk Tea.
I can't blame you.
Yeah.
I can't blame you. It is all
Don't I tell you what I was
to make a
doing? So
mistake.
on my team note sheet, I have all of the players listed, what I think they're strong with, and I have Milk Tea and Kurumi like right next to each other.
Yeah.
And so I see 2-3, and then I suddenly like accidentally look at Kurumi and think, oh yeah, Kurumi. No, it's not Kurumi. It is Milk Tea. 2-3 is Milk Tea, and of course it is going to be Milk Tea. He is going to be kind of the third player here, who is also surprisingly very, very good. Kind of known to be that normal 2 tapping player for China, as well as being a fabulous all-rounder. But for France, we got Hivkill, Araki, and Flaxte. A little bit surprised to not see B-Prod on here, considering that he is kind of the tapping player for France.
Maybe, might be the BPM, the fact that it's TT. I'm not entirely sure. B-Prod, a player I'm not terribly familiar with, so...
Nah, me neither. Looking at what B-Prod has done, I was under the impression that he may be in for this, but
yeah.
I suppose not. Flaste is going to be filling that gap, but regardless, both these teams still feeling really, really solid. France winning a little bit more on the accuracy side, but there are no breaks so far into this first KI. first start of the map. A little bit of a drop from Jack Wang, and hip kill breaks on the last section, the last pattern of that Ki. That's
Brutal.
massive for China.
Brutal break.
Oh, just very close to the halfway mark as well. Not too dangerous for this final score if he continues to hold, but China with the three-way FC going to take the lead eventually.
Everyone hits the wiggle, actually. Yeah, that's the major pattern in this map. I forgot about that, actually. Yeah, the wiggle is what everyone has been breaking on this weekend. No one does here, though. Very impressive.
The infamous wiggle pattern does not trip up anyone here, but we do see a few accuracy drops there from Joseph Joestar. A couple others, but China slowly running away with their lead. Hifgil has recovered masterfully. Still holding on to fantastic accuracy. It might be just a singular outlying miss, which could spell the end for France, but Araki and Hifgil both break. Joseph Joestar trades it, but it's not going to be enough for France at all. It's Milk Tea and Jack Wang against Vlaste, and we're going into the...
Hifgil and Araki broke on the... They like broke before the bus sliders, right? I think. That was...
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure
extremely
it was on the
unfortunate.
stream. I'm pretty sure it was on the stream just before the bus slide. I might have just put them off a little bit. Pressure can get to you if you're in a tournament scene, and if you see a frightening pattern coming up, you might mess up on the pattern just before that. Jack Wang dropping some massive accuracy, but it doesn't seem to matter. China pushing away their lead out of France's reach. Vlaste's trying his best. Jack Wang may break, but it's not going to be enough. China are 4-1 up.
I can see why France picked this. I mean, they looked really good on this map. I mean, a map like this, the combo is everything. It's you got to get through those two sections basically, the buzz sliders and the wiggle. RNG's got to be on your side.
Did see a few players kind of panic there a little bit. We did see a few big act drops on that wiggle stream, so some people just a little bit put off by it, but no massive breaks, which was good. But unfortunately, France could not hold on. It's China's next pick here, and it's safe to say they're probably going to go forward to the hard rocks here. Yep, it is going to be HR3. Mitsuki, Araki, no Yuki. Akari no Yuki, sorry.
The precision pick coming out. I guess wanting to hit upon that hard rock finally. Pretty conventional. I don't know. This precision pick doesn't... It's hard to characterize because it's so kind of vanilla.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most standard traditional Hard Rock 2s you'll see. A lot of very kind of standard jumps with some bursts in between. Really focusing more on punishing your rack rather than your combo, because really the patterns here are very, very simple, very, very standard. And if you're comfortable on CS 6.5 Hard Rock, you will absolutely fly through this map, which is why China are whipping out Crystal. Of course, they got Kurumi and David to help him out too. France, we got Hifkill, Araki, and Musty.
Hifkill, probably the major one here for France. I don't know, stuff like this is it's about focus. It's slightly under aim, slightly over aim, and it all goes to hell.
Yeah, this is also 2 minutes and 49 seconds long, so very, very kind of average in the length. A little bit, maybe a little bit on the longer side, getting close to about 3 minutes. So I guess you could consider this a little bit of consistency, but this BPM is also very low, 170, and it's only really bursts. So this really is just consistency and comfort that will really benefit you on this map. And China were definitely right to pick this, definitely more on the hard rock side. But compared to France, who really don't have a roster that's too suited for hard rock. But they do still have a player or two that can pull something good, most notably Hifkill. First quarter here, we've gone by the first quarter, nothing substantial. France are winning a little bit on the basis of accuracy, but Musty, unfortunate drop there on the reverse slide on the triple, yeah. Unfortunate situation here for France. That's the first break to come through. Will any more come by for China maybe to even out the playing field? No, it won't. France get punished even harder. Araki dropping. It is just Hifkill now.
Even further in China's favor, actually.
Yep. The absolute reverse of what a neutral player would hope for in this situation.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better.
The midway point as well. China already with a pretty juicy lead, considering how early on into it we are.
Yeah, this is getting very close to about 300,000 score, and we've reached the halfway mark. If France really want an opportunity to come back here, two players are trying to have to break right now. There's early breaks from France, despite being really bad against China's current scores. They do have an opportunity to maybe come back because their score isn't capped as hard, but we've already gone past that mark now. China are soaring ahead with a massive lead. Now Araki breaks once again. China looks so good on this hard rock too. Hifkill is trying his best, but even if there were two other breaks, any of these players from China could outscore him in accuracy on top of the FC. Into the final quarter here, we're seeing a little bit more bursty action here. 1-2 jumps and then a
oh my god,
that's an unfortunate
what a break from David.
But I think that break from Hifkill sealed
it for on.
Sure. Kurumi may go down, so we may not see the triple FC, unfortunately. But that final break from Hifkill sealed the coffin for France.
China, they thought it would be 2 BM if they 3-wayed again, so
yeah.
They just made sure to get 2 breaks in there just at the end. I don't know, yet another incredible team performance from China. Very hard.
2.8 million. Wow.
Very hard to beat. I mean, I don't know. This is what teams like China do in early rounds. It's why they're so terrifying to face in these rounds. Even some of the top seeds of the tournament would find issue with trying to compete with this.
Of course, Crystal the GOAT getting an FC on hard rock, showing how great he is on this hard rock too. Just generally such a phenomenal player in the tournament scene. Just being the outlier here. Unfortunate for China that they couldn't get that 3-way FC, but 2.8 million team score for a 3-player scoreline is very, very good. Match point for China now. France have got an opportunity to pick and maybe get a second point on the board, but China looks so good right now, and the options here for France are kind of exhausted. I mean, what other options do they really have? I mean, they could maybe go for a free mod.
I feel like Hidden 2 is, I mean, to me, looks the best. I think free mod 1 is just precluded from the discussion. I don't think free mod 1 is at all a good idea. Although maybe, I don't know, if you want to have an ACK battle, I don't like the idea of that personally.
I think the mindset going into the free mod 1 is that yes, China are also going to be equally very, very good at it. It's more hoping that you do better because at the very moment, you don't really have any options. You've got Hard Rock 1, which China will excel on. You've got Double Time 1, in which you could maybe get lucky and pull something, but China generally do have a better roster for that. And the Free Mod 2, you don't want to touch Free Mod 2. Free Mod 2 is CS2 ult. China are going to easily demolish on that.
Yeah, most likely.
So what options do you really have aside from Hidden 2 and Free Mod 1? Hidden 2, you're going to have to hope you can win that because Hidden isn't really going to be too much of a better factor. And you've got Free Mod 1, which as we mentioned before, accuracy battle is really all you can do.
Hidden 2, no mod 1 gambit is to me, it is Free Mod 2 actually.
They've gone for Free Mod 2, okay. This is a risky one for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about. I mean, this is likely at a certain point you just have to think about what your team is comfortable with and everything, and not concern yourself too much with what the other team is good at. So presumably, it's the kind of pick that works from that kind of reasoning, and you know, we'll just see what that works out to. If they can actually match up to. Very unfortunate play. One miss, and
A slider break, I believe
Yeah.
it was for another one. Yeah. It was the original kind of hard part of the Ki where it's like the single into sliders kind of very quickly. I don't really know how to
Yeah.
describe them. I'm not.
no. I
Yeah,
no,
you
I
know
know
exactly
which
what
one
I
you
mean.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's China's chance now to kind of get the revenge and finish off this match, seal the cover for France. What do you think they're going to go for here, nautzz?
I think
I've
if they
got a
want to
few
play it
things in mind.
safe, it would be like HR1 DT1, I would think. Maybe DT3 is feasible as well. Hidden 2 is like a shorter map, so it's a quick way of ending it, but I think France should look pretty good on that, actually, so maybe not the ideal. The Nomad 1 Gambit maybe can be avoided, although, you know, It's
I think they would want to go
pretty
for one of the aim picks,
epic
yeah.
way to go. Yeah, HR1 will be the pick actually. I think it's a nice and safe way for China to close it out. I do think they should have a notable upper hand, notable advantage on this.
Big Blast Sonic, Overdrive difficulty, Hard Rock 1. This is the first custom map for 3-Digit World Cup made by VODs. The other custom was what we saw earlier, which was the free mod 3. I believe. Yes. It was the free mod 3. Yeah. So
Like
we've
Kona.
got to see both the lovely customs made by our lovely custom mappers. And China just whipping up the big guns here with the Hard Rock 1, bringing in Crystal, Kurumi, and a potential third. My guess is that it's going to be either. It's probably going to be Milk Tea, to be honest. It's probably going to be Milk Tea. It could also be David, but my guess is that it's going to be Milk Tea.
Yeah.
For France, we're going to see Flaste, Musty, and Araki. Oh, it's David who's going to be bringing out
It is
here
David.
for China.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense, David, for the consistency aim picks outside of DT and maybe No Mod 1. I don't know. I like. I mean, really, China can go either way. I think it's just the kind of roster they have. It's great when you have more than 3 all-rounders, pretty much.
Yep. Agreed. This song slaps, man.
Everyone loves the Guilty Gear.
Naoki Hashimoto, Big Blast Sonic, a song from Guilty Gear, man. This is a banger of a tune. But if we add on to this map, this is a Hard Rock 1, as we already talked about before. Custom map by VODs. Very standard Hard Rock 1 consistency, but does have a few bursty patterns that can trip people up. It does have a hard section about 2/3 of the way through the map. And it does also have a few slow sliders, so if you get slow slided, that's a practice diff. So we're going to have to wait and see, but this is really, on paper, an easy win for China. But France have pulled miracles before. Maybe this is their other chance to do so. It's their only chance they can, because if China wins this, they win the set. So here we go. Do or die for France. We've already talked about the roster for China, but France are whipping out Musty, Hifkill, and Flaste. Probably the best option you can really go for here for France. Oh, there's a break from Musty. It looks incredibly kind of standard at the moment, but going into that first Ki, Musty unfortunately breaks and Flaste joins him. China still going good. Hifkill's trying to fight back with fabulous accuracy to boot. But David outshines him with 99.7. Oh, Hifkill drops.
Okay.
David also drops. It is one. Oh, wait, hold on. It was a double miss, actually.
Yeah.
It's
No, it
David
was.
and Kurumi also to drop.
David
So
and Kurumi.
it is just Crystal here with the FC just past the first Ki. This map is nearly 4 minutes long. There's still plenty of time. Crystal doesn't even have that big of a combo gap between Musty and Flaste. Still really anyone's map, despite Crystal having that advantage. If he holds on in the long run, this could be massive for China. But so far, that double miss from China giving France overall a little bit of a combo advantage, but that won't last very long. So France are going to have to hope for another break from China. Going into the second Ki, another break from David.
These transitions into the KIs are quite tough coming out of the streams.
Oh, Hifkill and Flaste. Oh no. Not good for France. This is a bad situation. Crystal still trying to hold on. Musty, despite the recovery, is not competing. He cannot contest Crystal. And Kurumi with a swift recovery is going to fight the collective of France back. Crystal is uncontested with 99 accuracy. We're going into a big jump section now. This is the best opportunity for France to hope for a break from Crystal. But Hifkill's the one to break instead. Crystal looks great. Absolutely no way to combat this. Big stream section
Let's
here.
go, Crystal.
Let's heckin' go, Crystal. This man wants revenge for what's happened to him in the past. He has had some tragedies in his career. And honestly, you know, China are hungry, just generally as a team, as a nation in the OC scene. They're so hungry. They're so desperate to get that win because they know they are more than capable of being world champions, whether it be in 3WC or OWC. They are definitely capable.
They have managed it in 4WC. It's
they have, yeah.
Just want to get the
Grand Slam, eh?
Yeah.
Going into this final Ki, things haven't seemed to change. Crystal still holding great. We're seeing multiple breaks here. One from Flasse, one from David, but Musty is the big break here for France. That's 100% sealed it. Crystal looks unstoppable, and Kurumi has got his back with going up to near 1,000 combo now. There is no room for France to fight back. It is over. China take the set, 6-2.
Oh, Crystal hits that ending too.
Let's
Nice.
go, Crystal. That's
The
it. GG
little
boys.
note stacked under a previous note on the burst there at the end is kind of evil. It does feel like built to make people miss at the end, but Crystal not to be denied.
And that is it. China make it to the upper bracket quarterfinals. France are down, but not out. They are going to be going down into the losers bracket. But China, brilliant showing so far. Really making clear how great their well-rounded roster is. The quads of the Lols and Crystal. Then you have Joseph and Jack Wan to brilliantly fill in for the speed. They've got a brilliant core here, and they are showing it good against a team like France, taking break points and really maps that you wouldn't expect China to outbeat France, but still feeling good. France did pull a few notable upset picks.
Nomad 4 really
Nomad
the
4.
major thing
Yeah.
for France. Very impressive performance on the Nomad 4.
Yeah, that was very good from France on that Nomad 4, but unfortunately that was kind of all she wrote for France. There's not really much else they can do, but maybe they will pull a comeback in the losers bracket. Congratulations to China for taking that victory and advancing into the quarterfinals winners bracket stage. We do have one more match today, and I believe that is going to be between Brazil and Italy at 18 UTC. Be sure to be there and join me and Fiery Rage for that match. I've been SadShiba. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. With me has been nautzz. Thank you, nautzz. And of course, thank you for Rob for streaming. Much appreciated. Lovely stuff in this tournament. And that's it, everyone. Take care. Do not go anywhere. 18 UTC. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.